So I just built a new EDH deck consisting of 97 lands that can win as early as turn 3. So let's talk about it. Welcome back, folks, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for dropping by and your ongoing support. My name is Patrick, host of the EDH Brutality YouTube page, in which we upload Magic the Gathering content and analysis on Wednesdays and Sundays. You're watching my latest EDH deck tech, but before we jump right into today's video, a quick and special thanks to patrons like you for making videos like this possible. And as we get right into the meat and potatoes, it should be mentioned that we are covering two versions of the same deck within today's episode. The first of which being a slower budget option, while the second one has no strings attached. And for the sake of the video, the second one is the one that can win on turn 3, but even so, the budget variant is still highly effective, guaranteeing a win on turn 5 without counterplay. For those interested, links to both versions of each deck list will be provided down in the description below. So with that, let's just jump right in. So today's deck is going to revolve around the commander, Sanar Innovative First Year, which for just 2 generic and 2 red or blue mana, gets you a 2/4 legendary creature goblin sorcerer with an ability stating Vivid. At the beginning of your first main phase, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. For each of those colors, you may exile a card of that color from among the revealed cards. Then shuffle. You may cast the exiled cards this turn. And naturally, because we do have 97 lands within this brew, with the commander just being 2 colors, that of blue and red, it may as well change the ability to tutor the only 2 cards within our deck, because ultimately that's what's going to happen. Sanar is going to hit the field, and then on our following turn, we are going to reveal cards until we hit the only 2 non-lands. The first of which being a Magmakin Artillerist, which is a 2 generic and 1 red mana, 1/4 creature elemental pirate reading. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, this creature deals that much damage to each opponent. And the second spell being a Treasure Hunt, which is a 1 generic and 1 blue mana sorcery speed spell with an ability stating reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. Then put all cards revealed this way into your hand, which go hand in hand beautifully together, because the entire premise of this deck is to pull off this single combo, making the line of play rather straightforward. We will want to cast our Magmakin Artillerist to burn people whenever we discard, and we're going to want to cast our Treasure Hunts to reveal all cards within our brew until we hit a non-land. And of course, being at just 97 lands, well, there are no other cards to reveal, which will create an interaction in which we reveal all cards within our list and simply put them to our hand. And since on cleanup we can't have any more than 7 cards within our grip, then we will be forced to discard all others, ultimately triggering the Magmakin Artillerist to deal that much damage to each opponent, thus winning us the game. And there you have it, the full and complete budget deck list. Unfortunately, with the nature of this brew, you're either going to win on turn 5 or lose on turn 5, meaning you only get 1 shot to pull this off. And if you try this twice in the same pod, well, then I don't think it's gonna go over very well. Luckily, however, I did mention the first bit is a budget list, which at the time of recording, the total price of said deck comes in at a whopping 91 cents. So yeah, is it bad? Absolutely. But for under $1, I think it is a gimmick worth trying. Now, if money is no object to you, and you do decide to speed the deck up, we can improve the speed by not 1, but 2 turns. That's right, because with specific lands, we can accelerate this for a potential turn 3 win. And thankfully, since the deck is still comprised of 97 lands, no matter how you look at it, we should have no issue mulliganing down to an extremely small hand size.
Because what are we gonna do with 97 lands? Miss a land drop?
So we've got 5 new lands to break the bank while increasing speed. Starting off with a Crystal Vein, which can tap for 1 generic mana, or tap and sacrifice to add 2 generic mana to our mana pool. Ancient Tomb is another great land-based accelerant, in which we can tap to add 2 generic mana to our mana pool at the cost of just 2 damage. And both Sandstone Needle, as well as Saprosan and Scary, are effective early game lands, which although come into play tapped, can both be tapped for 2 mana of their respective colors, enabling us to get our commander out that much sooner, as well as provide further mana the following turns to cast our 2 spells that our commander shall fetch. And last but not least, the final card within the budgetless version is none other than a Gemstone Caverns, in which if we do have in our hand, we better pray that we are not going first, because Gemstone Caverns is a legendary land with the ability stating, if Gemstone Caverns is in your opening hand and you're not playing first, you begin the game with Gemstone Caverns in play with a luck counter on it. If you do, remove a card in your hand from the game. Tap to add 1 generic mana to your mana pool. If Gemstone Caverns has a luck counter on it, instead add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And I don't know about you, but starting off any game of Magic the Gathering with 1 extra land is a pretty large advantage. And for those that don't believe me that a 97 land deck can win on turn 3, let me show you as an example. The way we do it, we just need Gemstone Caverns as well as Ancient Tomb or any other card that produces 2 mana of any color within our hand. And we are going to play the Gemstone Caverns as a pre-game action as long as we're not going first, and exile a land from our hands. On turn 1, we simply play our Ancient Tomb. Turn 2, we play a card such as a Mountain. We tap the Caverns and Mountain for red, and 2 from Ancient Tomb, and play our commander. We go to our next turn, and after our draw, we are going to reveal cards from the top of our deck until we reveal the 2 cards that aren't lands. And that is pretty simple. And where the heck is it? It's right here. And the rest are going to stay within the deck. These 2 will go to exile, in which we can cast them. We are going to pay 2 in 1 red to play the Magnican Artillerist, and of course play your land for turn on turn 3 and tap 2 to play the Treasure Hunt, to then put the rest of your deck within your hand, and then simply pass the turn and deal that much damage equal to your hand size to all opponents at the table. And like I said, you don't need the Ancient Tomb within your hand. Just any land that will tap for 2 mana shall do, even if it is a slower tap land, but the key is having that Gemstone Caverns. Of course, don't mulligan if you are playing the budget version. If you're playing the budget version, you're practically fucked. You're not winning before turn 5, and if you're playing still on turn 6, then you already lost the game. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's deck tech. I find it quite ironic that I made a very similar deck to this just a little over 3 years ago, but every single time I see one of these in action, it just leaves my jaw dropped on the floor. I will say, if you do end up picking up this list, whether it is the budget or budgetless variants, I personally would have a different copy of each basic land if possible, having many different artworks. I guess it just depends how much you want to spend. We can go as little as 91 cents or as high as thousands of dollars. I'll let you be the judge of that. But did you like today's list? Let me know down in the comment section below, as well as any feedback if you have any improvement suggestions. But with that, we will conclude today's episode. So if you want to stay tuned for future videos here on the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So like I said, my name is Patrick, host of EDH Brutality. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys. You know, I was thinking I should really get this deck. The budget version, that is. I'm not spending over $1 on this gimmick. Should get it all heavily played cards. And not even use card sleeves, just use a rubber band. Show up to my LGS, and if I win, I win. If not, well, I just throw my deck at someone, because it's just $1 after all. I'm out, guys. Peace.